Okay, so next I'm going to roll out the yellow, make it nice and square, and then I'm going to rule off a little slither, and from that I'm going to cut little squares. These are going to be our windows on our skyscrapers. So what I'll do is I'll zoom in so you can see what I'm doing, and we'll go from there. Very fiddly, but worth it. Neat little row using a good sharp knife. On the edge. Ooh. If you get a tear, that's okay. We're just making the squares, so what we do, move our sticking big sheet out of the way, do a little strip, and then from our little strip, just going to cut tiny little squares. If they stick, just flip them over like that, let the knife flick them off. So you'll need quite a few of these, so it's going to take a while, I'm afraid. But just a bit of patience needed. Okay, so now that you've finished doing your grey boxes and your little yellow windows, next we're going to stick them onto our little grey bits like that. All you need is just a paintbrush or something like it and a little bit of water, and just paint across where you want the building's windows to go. Now I don't put all my windows in a straight line always, and not every single window, just so that there's some lights out, there's some on, just makes it look cool. Try and keep them straight, and just give them a little push to make sure that they stick, because even though the water will make it quite sticky, it can sometimes make it need a little bit of a encouragement to stay in there. So once that's done, so you can bunch them up, you can spread them out. Use your paintbrush to put them into place if you need. Sometimes they can be a bit tricky. There you have it. Building with the lights on. Before we can start putting the fondant onto the cake, first we need to crumb coat it or put a ganache or something like that over it. It's basically to help the icing stick better to the cake, to keep the cake moist and soft and lovely, and also so you can get that nice smooth finish. So the ganache or butter, cream, whatever you prefer to use, will fill up all those bits. I'm using ganache, it's kind of the first time I've tried it, so let's hope. It's basically just melted chocolate and cream, so it's a pretty basic one, so hopefully not too bad. So obviously, just a little bit to work with, start out, and it's just enough to coat the cake and to keep it nice and smooth. We're not trying anything pretty or fancy. It's just nice thin coat to give ourselves a good base to work from. Okay, well, I've ganached the cake, so it's setting in the fridge. So next I'm going to roll out my base fondant. Now for Batman, lots and lots of black required. Now like I said before, you can make black fondant, but it's pretty much going to turn out dark grey. Best bet, buy the stuff, it'll save you a world of hurt. So obviously we won't need all of it for the base of the cake, because we'll need a little bit for our bat emblem a little bit later. But pretty well much, you're going to need a big chunk. Depends on the size of the cake. Obviously the bigger the cake, the more fondant you're going to need and the more base coverage. In saying that, your buildings will cover up a lot of mess. So take advantage of the fact that they're there. Now, Like I said before, I use a silicone mat, but you will need some icing sugar to dust it. Don't use too much because you don't want your black fondant to come out dusty looking or anything else like that. Just a little bit. Nice big soft, already kneaded. You will need to knead it. Doesn't matter what fondant you get, you're going to need to knead it. So, you do a little roll. Yeah. It is inherently sticky. So, best bit is, try not to turn it over too many times, but you may need to dust the surface once or twice. Okay, so I've rolled out my nice big sheet of black fondant. Now the trick is don't make it too thin because you want to be able to push it out if you need to. So not too thin, and also because although it's black, if you've got a lighter coloured cake underneath, you don't want any of it showing through as little thin patches or nothing. So very important, keep just a little bit of thickness to it, just to make it easier for yourself. Now, you can do it on Glad Wrap or silicone mat, or you can even just pick it up. I like using the silicone mat because you're less likely to stick your finger straight through it. So, got my beautiful cake here. All I'm going to do is drape this very carefully over the top of my cake. Just patting it down gently, making sure that the cake has my fondant and not my mat. It will stick in some spots, so you may need a knife to peel it off. Just very slowly, very carefully. Peeling it away. Your base icing's down. So you can use your hands to get any of the air bubbles out of the top and around the edges. Obviously I've got a nice square cake, so I've got corners. It's just a matter of just rubbing it down. So I'm going to keep smoothing this down, working out any air bubbles, getting it smooth. You can pinch it off or put a little nick in it to do the corners, but you can just as easily sort of rub it into shape. So let me get on to that bit because it does take a little while. Okay, so now that you've got a nice smooth surface, I've roughly cut off the biggest chunks, but leave a good amount around the base of your cake. Then you can trim around it a little bit closer, but do allow a little bit of extra lip, because the last thing you want to do is tear a big chunk out of the side of your cake after all that work. Okay, so now we're going to do the bat light. So basically I've taken the yellow, same stuff we used for the lights in the little city windows, and all you're going to do is roll a nice long strip. Doesn't have to be overly thick or thin, just enough that it will hold its colour up against the black. And you just make one wedge and two wedges. Doesn't have to be perfectly tidy because let's face it, it's a light beam. And just long enough to make sure that you can go up over the side of the cake into about halfway. There we have it, little strip. I'll grab the cake and I'll show you how to put it on. Okay, so my nice big black cake, my bright yellow bat light. All we're going to do is take a paintbrush, one that hasn't been used for kids painting or anything else gross and disgusting, a little bit of water, like really, it's water. Brush it all the way down your yellow piece. Make sure you get nice good coating, and working out roughly about where you want it. Just put a little bit down the side of the cake into the centre. and it will dye your paintbrushes black, so that's why we do it second. Alright, so we'll pick our piece up here, just lay it diagonally. Like I said, doesn't have to be perfect, but now we've got the beginnings of our backlight. So just trim off any excess, and I'll start working on the back symbol. Okay, so this is proof positive you can use basic stuff. So this is a coffee mug, and we're going to use it to make the background for the symbol. So just put it down on the icing, get a knife, and just run it around. Even if you're just scoring it for the time being, you can always come back and cut over it. Just got to watch out for the cup. Okay, so then all we have to do is just go around. Make sure it's all the way through. Just tidy up the edges just with your fingers. Now, obviously, if it sticks, you're going to have to, same as the other stuff, lift it off carefully, and then we just place it on top of the cake. So I've got my light beam, leads up to there, so just pat it down, careful not to get any black ink onto it. And just push it into the cake just to make sure it's on there safe. So now, you can see, we've got our back beam. So now all we have to do is make the back symbol and add our buildings to the side, and we're almost finished. Okay, so now we're going to try and do the bat shadow. So I've cheated a little bit, and I have a little Batman tag that I just grabbed one of the pictures off the net and cut out. So all we're going to do, I'm going to use a toothpick, because the toothpick's pretty easy, because it's kind of like using a really small pencil. And all I'm going to do is scry around the outline, so I can cut it out easier with the knife. So all I do is just run the toothpick around the outline of the picture. Careful not to get too enthusiastic and take too much icing out. So that's all I'm doing, is just outlining, and you might need to flick off any icing that's gotten stuck to the toothpick. But that's all we're doing, is just scrying in the outline. So we get a nice little Batman trace thing going on. So all I'm going to do now is, using the very tip of a small paring knife, just cutting away. I find it easier to cut away the big chunks. Kind of like when you're cutting out small pictures, it's easier to cut out the big chunks first. So just slicing away. And I'll just keep going until I've got my Batman shape. Okay guys, so this is the completed Batman cake. I'll just come close. This is the completed version. Little buildings all the way around. Looking pretty cool. Now, the other day I had to make little Lego men, so I made a Robin and a Batman. Not necessary, but seeing as well as making them anyway, I figured what the hell. You could also cheat, or not cheat, be creatively minded. Just get a little Batman dude. So, nothing's been glued down. So to get Batman to stick on there, you just shove him through. You just, shut. And that's how it would look like if you had him sitting on there. So obviously you've got plenty of room for writing and everything else to say happy birthday. But that is a Batman cake. This is the final product. It's for Connor's 5th birthday. Little Gotham City cranking. And you can see the little Lego Batman that I made on there. That's just something I did. You don't have to do it. It's just something I had time and a mold to do. So if you don't get around to doing it, it's not a big problem at all. Until your phone rings. So happy cake making, coolest mums, dads ever. Like I said, nowhere near as scary as what you think it is. It's actually pretty easy. But give it a go, see for yourself, and I'll see you guys later.